It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Gloucester Brewery and it's a bottle of their 04 Galaxy Craft Ale coming in at 5.4% ABV. There's the label, gold bottle cap. This won a bronze award at the SEBA Regional Championships in Ludlow in bottled beers over 5%. I know how difficult it is to win any kind of award at Ludlow with SEBA. I've judged there on the numerous occasions, a lot of occasions, and there's some really good competition. So I'm expecting this to be a really good beer. Let's get it out into a glass and see what we get. Nice bit of smoke on the opening. Beer in the glass then. A nice head developing. One finger of head so far. It might be a bottle conditioned beer, so I'm going to show you the beer nice and clear before we add the sediment in at the end of the review, if it's a bottle conditioned beer or not. So, nice slow moving carbonation. There's a little haze going on in the beer, but considering I'm just getting a big rigorous pour, you've got to expect a little bit of that. It's a one finger white tight head. Looks very good. Look at that. Let's get the aroma on this amber coloured ale. Oh, blimey. Blimey, that is really good. The Australian hop, the Galaxy hop in this is coming through in abundance. It's a beer that smells very crisp, very dry, but very fruity. Almost like a very kind of dry, sweet white wine. I'm going to dive into this one. It smells great. Loads of peach and mango and grapefruit. Oh, it's really wet in the whistle. Cheers. Ooh. Wow, I gotta put that down. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows, that beer is absolutely mesmerising. Woo. Where do I start with this beer? It's lovely and sweet with the malt up front. You're very aware of the hops. You know there's going to be a supercharged kick with the hops. It's just one of them beers that you kind of, it all takes place. I try and put it into slow-mo in my mind. It's all happening very quickly. But in slow motion, this is what's happening. You've got a lovely sweet malt beginning to the beer. A little bit of breadiness going on. A little bit of kind of that caramel coming through. Nice caramel tones. And then very quickly, you've got this onrush of grapefruit and mango, and there's a bit of pear in there. Wow. And then that dissipates. Them flavours dissipate down a little bit. And then you're left with this longing bitterness. It's 40 IBUs. Now, I don't know. I think if it didn't say so on the bottle, I would say it's more like 50-60 IBUs. It's really big and punchy. And I had one or two of the Gloucester Brewery beers probably a year or two ago, and I drank them very fresh. And drinking them fresh, they like to add hops to their beer, a lot of hops, as you can see here. So this beer was delivered to my door on Monday night. It was literally sitting on the doorstep when I got home. And it's Friday night now, so literally 5 nights we've got the review done. It's very fresh, and I'm glad that I've done it so fresh. I'm not saying that I don't do the rest of the beers fresh. It's just I like to get the hoppy beers done first, because the hops perish quite quickly. Anyway, that was the first sip. Let's dive into the second. Yeah, that's an absolutely corking beer. And I've just worked out why I was talking to you about that onrush of hops. I knew it was coming. I was trying to work out why in my brain I was saying that. And there is a reason it's come to me now, why I said that. It's because there's a hop stickiness on the lips. There's a hop stickiness on the tongue and on the top of the mouth. And that comes first. And then you realise to yourself, boom, this is going to be a corker. The bitterness, the flavours, the malt, it's all in line. I know I'm saying it's super hoppy, it's super flavoursome. That's all good, that's all great. But nothing pulls in a direction where you don't want it to go. Nothing's kind of straining at the leash. You know when you're taking that dog for a walk and it's pulling you along? It's not the hops, you know, pulling you along, pulling the malt along. That's not happening. Everything's happening in harmony. The malt and the dog is going for a nice casual walk. The malt is kind of, it's not kind of arm wrestling and fighting and it's all kind of, what I'm looking for is balance. It's a very balanced beer. Nice and sweet, nice and hoppy, nothing's too untoward. Right, that being said, let's see if it's a bottle conditioned beer. Now, if you're unsure of what a bottle conditioned beer is, it's the second fermentation process that happens in the bottle. So the brewer adds a little bit of yeast, and it will, depending on the level of yeast in the bottle, it will kind of cloud the beer up a little bit. So at the moment, if you want a nice clear glass of beer, leave about 1 centimetre left in the bottom. If you don't mind, like me, I really don't mind. There you go, look at that. If you don't mind the yeast, because it's full of vitamin D, there's nothing wrong with it. That's what you get. So it's a cloudier beer. And I think, to be honest, I drink a lot of German Hefeweizens, a lot of Belgian beers. I really like the yeast in the beer, to be honest. I think it adds something, it adds a little bit more of an edge, a little bit more of the character, you know? If you want a really clear, sparkling beer, and you drink with your eyes, go and buy a pint of Carlin. If you want something a little bit magical, a little bit kind of craft beer, real ale, craft ale, yeah, they call it a craft ale here, then, you know, with a little bit more quality to it, then buy a nice bottle of ale. I'm guessing you do, otherwise you wouldn't be watching, would you? Right, okay. Rating then for this quite wonderful beer. Before I give the rating, I actually missed this last year. I was brewing in Poland. I was out in Poland, brewed a beer with Brewer Pinter and Thomas Kuipler. And it was the first Ludlow festival I missed in a long time. But if I was there, and I normally judge in the final, I would have given this, I would have made this my winner. It would have been 2 unbelievable beers to knock this from gold or silver place. I can't quite believe it got a bronze, to be honest. But yeah, hey ho, I wasn't there, and unfortunately my decision doesn't count. But what I can tell you, here in my kitchen, is that this beer, this Galaxy by Gloucester Brewery, is an unbelievable 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 beer. It's one of the best beers I've drank so far in 2015. I know we're only in February, I know we've got a long way to go. I've drunk some really good beers from big headline breweries in January and early February, but so far this is my beer of 2015. Thanks for watching. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer reviews. Cheers.